Anyone who needs to come out today, this will be the microphone that you utilize, please. This will be for Mr. Chairman.
Nothing on there?
If you need to, you can use the one outside.
Just to confirm,
Say again?
The lawyer can give it microphone.
Does the lawyer get a microphone?
No, I have
That's
to.
what he asked.
Oh, sorry.
I'm relaying what he said.
Thank you. They can use the one that's up on the podium when need be.
We'll have to share it. We only got two.
All right, I'm gonna start off. Good evening, Springfield. Welcome to the Township of Springfield meeting of the Planning Board, August 26, 2020. Adequate notice has been given in accordance with the Sunshine Laws. Notice was published on July 18, 2024 at the local source, which is the official newspaper of the Township of Springfield for 2024, posted in the annex building on July 18, 2024. Let's do a salute to the flag, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag. Can we do a quick roll call, please? Again, you know I have a mic, Mike, can you pick up?
Oh, I hear you.
Good evening, Rich Huber.
Here.
Good evening, Alex Kaiser. Here, if you would. Mr. Barnett. Here. Mr. Giro.
here.
Mr. Laufer. Here. Mr. Cedarquist. Here. Mrs. Mayo.
Here.
Mr. Cantagallo. Mr. Wishna. Vice Chair Kessel.
Here.
Chairman Tiger. Yes. For the record, Mr. Cantagallo and Mr. Wishna have sent an email and excuse from the policies. We received that. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So just to get started, I know there's a lot of interest in some of the applications tonight. I just want to be clear of how the meetings run so no one is caught off guard. Tonight we're going to end around 8:30-ish. The way that applications are done in Springfield before the planning board is we let the applicant put on all their testimony, whatever witnesses they have, whatever cross from our engineer, planner, or the board, that all takes place. Once they finish with all their witnesses, and they will at a certain point in time, if it's not today, it'll be the next meeting, the public will have an opportunity to speak at that point in time and ask questions of all witnesses. So they will have all witnesses here, all times, for the remainder of their application. So if you don't get a chance to speak tonight, just take notes of what your questions are. Some of them may get answered as the applications go on, and some of them may be outstanding, and everyone will have an opportunity to speak when the application closes and concludes testimony. So to be clear, just want to make sure everyone's that's the way that the meeting runs. So first item of business, we have a resolution for drip taxi 7-2024 S, 3 Dundar Road, Suite 4, Block 3903, Lot 9. This was preliminary and final site plan with a conditional use for cannabis delivery service. The resolution was out on the Google Drive, and at the time the committee approved the license that they needed. Anyone have any questions or concerns? Can I have a motion to adopt the resolution? So moved. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Giro, you're ineligible. I'll second.
You are the, I'll
I'll
second it.
abstain for that one.
I'll second it. Fine. Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Mr. Laufer? Yes. Mr. Cedarquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell is absent, Mr. Richards is absent. Chairman Tiger? Yes. Mr. Huber, you abstain on that?
Abstain.
Motion passes. Perfect. The next two applications are waiver of site plan for AT&T. AT&T Council, is he here? Is she here? Please come up. We're going to handle both at the same time because they're both the same consequences. This should be very short and sweet. Before you come up, I just want to read it into the record. AT&T 200 Mountain Avenue, Block 1202, Lot 35. AT&T 1 Broadway, 3903, Lot 16. Before you start, for the record, Mr. Disco, you just want to quickly tell the board that you need to meet the site state standards. They meet the obligations of federal standards, they meet everything, all the ordinance, so part of the building. You guys have anything to add on either one of them?
Yeah.
none, I'll close the portion, and if you want to make a motion to approve the first one.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve, application number, so, AT&T 200 Mountain Avenue, block 1202, lot 35, for Sundown.
Have a roll call.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Ms. Kessel?
Yes.
Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Mr. Giro?
Fine, perfect.
Mr. Giro?
Yes.
Mr. Laffer?
Yes.
Mr. Cedarquist?
Yes.
Ms. Tamayo?
Yes.
Chair Tyler?
Yes, let the record show that Committeeman Kaiser's attendance at 6:37. Committeeman, I'm gonna ask that you can come, but just don't do anything with the AT&T, sorry. This is what looks like 30 seconds. Perfect. Can I entertain a motion? Any members of the public wish to speak on the second one, 1 Cornell Parkway, block 3903, lot 16? Seeing none, I'm gonna close this to the public, and open it up to the board. Anyone with questions or concerns? No. Go ahead, Mr. Huber.
Motion.
Second. That's fine, roll call.
Mr. Huber?
Yes.
Mr. Laffer?
Yes.
Committeeman Kaiser?
Yes.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Mr. Giro?
Yes.
Mr. Cedarquist?
Yes.
Ms. Tamayo?
Yes.
Vice Chair Kessel?
Yes.
Chair Tyler?
Yes, perfect. Okay, the next thing is application 8-2024. Thank you. Well, wait 1 second. Do you want us to wait reading so you could do the work?
Sure, that would be one.
Perfect. Any more, any questions, concerns on either one of them? Perfect. Good luck. Thank you. Perfect. The next is application 8-2024S, which is CR Stores 17 LLC, 201 322, block 3702, lot 2. This will be carried to any members of the public that are here for this Jersey Mike's for preliminary and final site plan for conditional use and a parking variance. This will be carried to September 12th, 2024, in this very room with no further notice. This will be the first application on the agenda on September 12th. If anyone's here for Jersey Mike's, please come back at this time for that. Next application is Congregation of Israel of Springfield, 9-2024S, which was 339 and 347 Mountain Avenue, 18 Pitt Road, block 1801, lots 33 through 36 and 39 for preliminary and final site plan, minor subdivision, bulk variances, and any additions. So before we get started, Councilor, you have a chance to review the notice that went out?
Public notice for this meeting?
Yes.
Yes,
Does it conform to the state standards?
it conforms to state standards. It's posted in the appropriate timeframes, and proof of that posting was provided by you.
Perfect. Okay, so for the record, I just want to read the record as I always do. This application was submitted on June 10th, was deemed complete, Mr. Disco, correct, on July 29th, is that correct? Okay, and then was scheduled for a hearing shortly after for the hearing tonight. Is that correct, Mr. Disco?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, let's get started, Counselor.
Thank you very much. Clara T. Harelick, Esquire, appearing on behalf of the applicant owner, Congregation Israel of Springfield, a Jewish Orthodox house of worship. The applicant is seeking preliminary and final site plan approval with variance relief, waiver approval, and lot consolidation approval in connection with a new construction addition to expand the existing synagogue building and parking lot located at 339, 340 to 347 Mountain Avenue, block 1801, lots 33 to 36, and for a minor subdivision to adjust the rear lot line at 18 Pitt Road, block 1801, lot 39, the single-family youth director assistant rabbi house, which adjoins 339 and 345 Mountain Avenue, owned by the applicant. The application involves the construction of a 2-story building addition to the current existing synagogue building, internal renovations to the existing synagogue building at 339 Mountain Avenue, elimination of the synagogue playground at 343 Mountain Avenue, and demolition of the 2 houses owned by the applicant at 345 and 347 Mountain Avenue. The applicant house of worship is a permitted use in the S60 zone. It should be noted, however, that the bulk regulations in the S60 zone for a single-family house and a house of worship are the same, though the uses and size are distinctly different. which is what gives rise to the variances and waivers requested. Further, it should be noted that religious institutions are considered inherently beneficial uses that serve the purpose of zoning. Without going into detail, because I will leave that for the applicant's representative and the experts that are testifying tonight, I would like to briefly put on the record the specific variances and waivers requested in conjunction with the site plan approval. The variances are lot coverage, building coverage, parking spaces, and loading spaces. The waivers are for driveways prohibited on both streets of corner lots, access aisle width, sidewalk width, and parking lot landscaping. In addition to the variances and waivers, there is the request for lot consolidation for lots 33 to 36 to become one lot, which will be comprised of the existing synagogue building and existing parking lot, and a new construction building addition and additional parking spaces, plus a portion of the land from lot 39 following the minor subdivision in connection with the rear lot line of 18 Pitt Road, which adjoins the Mountain Avenue Synagogue property. 18 Pitt Road, as well as 339 Mountain Avenue, the location of the existing synagogue building, also have pre-existing, non-conforming conditions which shall remain unchanged. The reason we are here tonight is because the applicant outgrew its current space. The existing building was built in the 1970s and is no longer adequate for the congregation. The expansion project will give the applicant the opportunity to have the building and parking space it requires in order to meet the needs of the congregation membership. The number of children in the synagogue has grown significantly, even though the number of family members has remained somewhat status quo. This is due to the fact that the average amount of children per family has grown. I wish to stress that this expansion project is not for recruitment to build a bigger synagogue membership population. If that was the goal, then the applicant would have added far more seats to the sanctuary than the 17 being added as part of the expansion project. Rather, it is to add needed rooms for the children and to improve the worship environment. I also wish to stress that the applicant's current operations will remain the same. The primary use of the synagogue building is for worship and religious events, such as bar and bat mitzvahs, baby namings, religious holiday parties, lectures by the rabbi. There is no daycare, there is no Hebrew school, and there is no in-house caterer. For daily services during the week, there are approximately 20 people. During normal business hours, only the secretary is in the building with an occasional visitor. The testimony tonight will detail the reasons why the expansion of the existing synagogue building and parking lot is needed, and why the variances, waivers, lot consolidation, and minor subdivision being sought are justified for the expansion. I would, however, like to put on the record the inadequacies of the current existing building. The building is too small to accommodate the youth groups for the 200+ children. The children are too disruptive to the worship services taking place in the sanctuary. The new construction addition solves the problem by adding multiple rooms for youth groups and a multi-purpose room, all a distance away from the sanctuary. The building does not have space for an office for the rabbi. A rabbi's office is part of the new building addition. The building does not have a basement for storage. In fact, there's very little storage space. The new building addition will have a full storage basement. The building does not have enough bathrooms. The new building addition adds multiple bathrooms. The kitchens, social hall, administrative office, and coat room are too small. Through renovation and the new building addition, these items will now be the appropriate size. As to the number of parking spaces, 20 additional spaces will be added, which improves a pre-existing non-conforming condition. The applicant is an Orthodox synagogue, so driving a vehicle on the Sabbath and holidays is prohibited for religious reasons. Accordingly, the majority of congregants walk to and from the synagogue on the Sabbath and holidays. The parking lot is closed to vehicles coming in or out during the Sabbath and holidays. To use the parking lot on Sabbath and holidays, people must arrive in the parking lot immediately before the Sabbath or holiday begins and leave their vehicles until the Sabbath or holiday ends. Appearing and testifying on behalf of the applicant tonight, and or extended if we don't get to everybody tonight, will be the following professionals in the order of appearance. Dr. Josh Smilo, the president of Congregation Israel of Springfield. Danielle Lespernier of Dynamic Engineering Consultants, a licensed professional engineer. Connor Hughes of Dynamic Engineering Consultants, a licensed professional traffic engineer. David Mayerfeld of Mayerfeld Architecture, a licensed professional architect. Thomas Ritchie or Matthew Seckler of Stonefield Engineering, licensed professional planners. And also present and available to answer any questions is Rabbi Chaim Marcus, the rabbi of Congregation Israel of Springfield. Through their testimony, the professionals listed will thoroughly present the site plan, the architectural plans, the operations of the applicant, and address all the comments set forth in the review letters from the Township Engineer Michael Discow and the Township Planner Michael Mastretta. The applicant has been working on the plans for this expansion for a long period of time. Much thought has gone into the best plan to meet the current and future needs of the applicant. Satisfying the membership is a top priority in the synagogue community. Satisfying the township and being a good neighbor is also a top priority of the synagogue community. This is why, when the applicant was asked to make changes to the plans by the township professionals, changes that were not always in the best interest of the applicant, but were in the best interest of the neighbor, the applicant agreed. The applicant's professionals will elaborate upon that. At this time, I will state some of the ways the applicant has addressed concerns that related to neighbors, which through the applicant and or its team of professionals will be put on the record through testimony. 1, the applicant intends to maintain 18 Pitt Road as a single-family house and will prohibit it from being used as a parking lot, drive-through, or walking path cut-through for the applicant's synagogue. 2, fencing and landscaping have been increased to create greater buffers for the neighbors. Aesthetically, the applicant's new fencing will match the existing two-tone fence. 3, there are no height or setback variances being requested. Height and setback variances would have negatively impacted the neighbors. 4, no additional stormwater will flow off-site that would impact the neighbors. The drainage and sewage are adequately controlled. 5, the Mountain Avenue ingress, only entrance, will be further away from Q Drive and the Shunpike Mountain Avenue intersection, which improves the traffic situation. 6, additional parking spaces are being added to further reduce any off-site parking, but it should be noted that parking is allowed on all the surrounding streets. 7, lighting will be directed away from the neighbors and controlled with timers. 8, a mutually agreed upon agreement or easement will be worked out with the Mountain Avenue neighbor with whom the applicant shares a current driveway. And 9, an outdoor terrace on the second floor of the building being built partly for religious reasons for a sukkah in celebration of the holiday of Sukkot will have a higher wall to maintain greater privacy for the neighbors and lighting directed inward. In addition, it is anticipated that its use will be infrequent. The proposed site plan, lot consolidation, and minor subdivision represent good planning on the part of the applicant in connection with meeting its current and future needs and addressing the concerns of the surrounding neighbors. Congregation Israel of Springfield has been an integral part of the Springfield community for over 50 years. I would know this firsthand because my parents were amongst the first members of the congregation in 1972, and the synagogue has been an important part of my life growing up. To the credit of the founders of the congregation, the building they envisioned 50 plus years ago and ultimately built served the membership well. Unlike other houses of worship that have lost members over the years, Congregation Israel grew and finally outgrew its space. The congregation serves many township residents. The proposed addition has been planned to meet the current and future needs of the congregation based upon its long history. Based upon the above, it will be shown through testimony that the relief requested will advance the purpose of the municipal land use law, that there will not be a substantial detriment to the public good, that the benefits of the deviations will substantially outweigh any detriments, and that the intent and purpose of the zoning plan and the zoning ordinance will not be substantially impaired.
Okay, thank you, Counselor. So we have about an hour and a half that we're outlining for tonight, so if you think of your witnesses, I'd love to hear on behalf of the board from your general president, your
That's who we're calling next.
engineer, and then see where we are.
Absolutely. I would like now to call Dr. Josh Smilo, President of Congregation Israel of Springfield.
Before you start, Doctor, you love screen.
He'd like to be affirmed, not
You raise your right hand. Do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give can be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Could you state your name again for the record?
Josh Smiley,
Please spell your last name.
SMILOW.
Thank you. Counsel.
Thank you. Dr. Smilo, kindly tell the board why the applicant needs the building addition and parking spaces being proposed.
So the existing building doesn't meet our needs. We have outgrown our building. The number of members on a year-to-year basis goes up and down by a few every year, remaining relatively consistent. But it's our kids that we have, thank God, obviously, that have increased greatly. And this is one of the primary reasons for the addition. This building is being expanded in order to meet the current needs of our membership. The intention is not to use the expansion to increase the number of members. We are an Orthodox synagogue. Our main services are on Saturday morning. Our sanctuary and social hall share a wall. This is very disruptive because all the kids gather in the social hall. In addition to the social hall, in our current building, there are only 2 classrooms where the children are able to gather during services. One is also right near the sanctuary. I'd just like to go over the types of groups that we have in our shul on a weekly basis. We have 2.5-year-olds in nursery, pre-K to kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade girls, 1st and 2nd grade boys, 3rd and 4th grade girls, 3rd and 4th grade boys, and 5th grade boys and girls. We have a total of 90 preschoolers, 48 kids in grades 1 through 4, 43 in grades 5 through 8, and 27 high schoolers, for a total of 208 kids. Our older kids help out the younger kids as group leaders on our Sabbath.
I'm not gonna say that's a sign, but that might be a sign.